Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to my channel. I'm Real King, and in this video I wanted to talk about some of the things that I've been doing over the past few hours or the past evening to basically get myself prepared and mentally focused on moving from the United States. I said that kind of weird. My bad. I was gonna say another word, but then I said it like that. But anyways, so as you guys have known, or as you guys know, I have been really kind of thinking about moving out of the country. And so it wasn't until, like I said, a couple of days ago that really things kind of started really hitting me, affecting my mind in a way that, in a good way, that things were put in perspective. I was watching a few videos on YouTube, and they were talking about moving these people that had moved to Thailand. And so after watching these videos, and one brother that was very particular, I didn't mention this video to y'all, and he was a younger brother. He has to be in his early 20s, early to mid 20s, and he was showcasing his videos that I was watching was him looking for an apartment. And so, being that I've been, thinking about moving there, now he was in Thailand. These are different places in Thailand that these videos that I was watching and stuff like that. So a lot of people go to Bangkok or Pattaya. I think that's what the other name is called. But those that go there are singles or young people or both, because of the kind of things that place offers, of course. So anyways, the thing is, this one brother, I believe it was Bangkok that he was living in. He hadn't been there that long, apparently, and so he's apartment hunting. So there was some cool things to know about how to go about getting an apartment. There's negotiable prices on apartments, which is nothing like that here in the States. So he's looking at these apartments. There was two videos that I was watching. The first video, he was kind of like going over some, he was meeting with these realtors and they were checking out a few different places. The prices of these apartments, and most of them were negotiable, were, I'm just going to say it in USD. They were about, they were anywhere from like 700 to 750, I believe, in the price. Now, the interesting part about that, what I saw and the prices to me on the first video were, they looked okay. Some of them they were brand new units, but like some of the beds were like, I consider like old school beds. They weren't, they weren't the memory foam type of stuff like that. They seemed like they were maybe box spring. But anyways, small details, no big deal. Some of the spaces were a little smaller than I would have preferred. And for that price, I was shocked. And I wasn't really shocked until the second video. The second video, he was basically, apparently he was going to nail a price. He was tired of doing the searching. He wanted to find something, and that was that. So he was determined to find something to, and to sign a lease. He's looking at a couple of apartments, and they look good. He was I don't know where he was at. It was a different building, and I forgot if they seemed better, but I'll just get to the main one. So he, out of all the places that he looked at, y'all, and day one, they were $700 apartments. And the one that I believe he settled on, it was crazy nice. It was basically a duplex. It had an upstairs where the bed is. It is fine. The room was just upstairs. It overlooked not the balcony, but what was that called? The loft, I guess, area. It wasn't really a loft, but it was just the railing. And so obviously it overlooked downstairs. Nice and spacious, y'all. 648. He said he was going to negotiate that down to like 5 something. I was like, what? Once I saw that video, that's literally all it took for me to really just, it just made sense. It made sense. So everything that for me, what I want, I would be able to get in Thailand. Okay. I know Thailand has some really good skateboarding spots. I do know that. But anyways, there's just a lot of pluses. There's a lot of pluses for someone like me to move to Thailand, more so than even Brazil. I don't want to get into all of those right now, but just from what I know, it's just better. So there's a brother that I was watching a video. He lives in Thailand, but there's another brother, YouTuber that he was talking about some of the changes. Excuse me, y'all. The changes that are happening as far as for Thailand, and like I do with all videos, I want to look at both. I want to see videos and just make my own judgment. So I was hesitant to watch this video at first. I got the notification and I just didn't. I waited a while, so I finally watched the video, and I'm glad I did. So basically, Thailand, just like a lot of countries, when they're starting to get a lot of movement of, foreigners relocating to the country, some people don't know how to act. And so basically, without going into all the detail, Thailand is trying to make it not tough, and it would only affect people that are not there honestly, and that are not there with a plan, that are just there maybe to, maybe they're not, their finances aren't straight, or whatever, don't have a job or something, not have a plan. And so when their money runs out and their visa runs up or is up, then they go start mooching off other people and trying to do it that way, which is not good. And so what they're trying to do is crack down on a bunch of BS, which I understand. So like the brother was saying, this wouldn't affect people that are doing stuff by the book, that are honestly coming to Thailand, either to be, for vacation or for long term, that are doing it the right way, that have a plan, that have their ducks in a row, that kind of stuff. If you don't have your ducks in a row, then that would apply to you. So all these restrictions that they are coming up with, that are affecting certain tourists, those certain tourists that they would be affecting negatively are the ones that are not coming there or don't have the right frame of mind to be going there. So that was good to see that video, because I wanted to make sure that I was excluded from that, and it was. And so getting over that little small hurdle, and that's all I'm doing, is I'm overcoming hurdles that are, there. It's information. You need to do your due diligence as you are saving up and waiting to go, like a person like myself. There's a lot of things that I need to do in the meantime, which is educate myself on the ways that are there in the country that I am seeking to relocate to. So gotta research the laws, what you can and can't do, what is acceptable, what isn't, and just those kind of things, because you're going into another country that is way different than America, in many ways, if not always. And so things that you don't think about, or that it doesn't seem like it's nothing here in America, it definitely may be over there, so you want to make sure that you do not go there unprepared. Get as much research as you possibly can before going there. You may not know everything, but you want to know a good majority of that before you go there and stuff like that. So that's basically what I'm doing in the meantime. And so I've been emailing and chatting back and forth with a few brothers and stuff like that, getting some pointers. And I'm real about this. And so what I've discovered that I'm going to be able to do, it is using one of my strengths, one of my many strengths. And I had no idea that this was going to be something that I can do, but it's just awesome. Being that I'm already in the the work field of doing like, kind of volunteering and stuff like that. I'm getting paid for it, but I work with special needs, people, something that I enjoy doing. Well, another form of that, which is a way that I can be employed there, is being an English teacher. And I'm like, it gets better, because all my life I have always known, and I've been told by other people that have heard me speak and I talk to, that I'm very, I speak very, what is the word I'm looking for? See, now it's not eloquent, but it's, there's another word I can't think right now. I don't know why. I was just emailing about this. Anyways, but I sound very educational, articulate. I speak very articulate. That's the word I was looking for. Now, people there's a phrase or whatever. People say big words. To be honest, y'all, my grandmama, who was a teacher who raised me, she was the one that really embedded in me how to, the whole thing about phonics, sounding out words, names, and stuff like that. And to this day, I still do that. I just do not see a purpose for you not to. Like, my real name is not pronounced the way it looks. And there's a lot of names that are like that. So it's like when I was in third grade learning how to spell Yugoslavia or Czechoslovakia. Well, those are words that, at least Czechoslovakia is a word that definitely doesn't sound the way it's spelled. It starts out with a CZ. So it's like, huh? So understanding phonics and different countries and the way that how they pronounce certain words and their names and so on and so forth really helps. It shows that you actually care and you're not just trying to butcher these words or these names, because you go over these other countries talking, saying something that's not right. It's like, you're an idiot. You know what I'm saying? So English, phonics, and spelling, always been a strong point, in my life. I've always had like a higher grade level, or more advanced spelling. I've always had more advanced spelling. And just, creative writing, speaking to people, I'm not shy. I know how to speak to people. I know how to conduct myself and be professional and speak, articulate in front of, I know how to hold conversations, in meetings or important meetings, whatever it may be. It's just understanding how to read the person and understand the situation that you're in. So those are major strengths that I have just already with me. And I've not used them because I haven't had to use them. I used to do customer service back in the day, many years ago. I would always get those jobs because of how I spoke. And so that's just something that has always been. So these are some strengths that have always been with me. So I'm like, wow. So becoming an English teacher, and I don't have to have a degree, would be perfect. So there's many ways I can do that. I can do tutoring. I can do one-on-one sessions, whatever, online. And so I'm chopping it up with this brother. We collabing, going back and forth on some emails and messages through YouTube, and things are starting to open up in my mind, just like ideas, and I'm just like, wow, I love this because then there's some, and I'm going to be looking over some of the testimonials that he has some videos of on his page, whatever, his business page, where there's testimonials, and I'm going to look over those. But I'm reading just, the breakdown of how, what he does and how his business or whatever works. And probably going to do a consultation visit and stuff like that. But I've been waiting for this opportunity. Even when I was thinking about going to Brazil, I said to myself, I'm like, if I just had an opportunity, if some of these people on YouTube that have that do these certain kind of videos, if they just have something available for us to like, you know, commit to or do something, whatever, I'm just like, I would do that because I'm really serious about that. And so having a consultation visit, knowing that this brother has been on doing this on YouTube for years, and he has testimonial, and then there was a brother that he had on his page. He's like, this brother did, he had 2 interviews, got a job within 30 days. Okay, so if that can happen, you know what that tells me? I wouldn't have to wait so long to dip. I would just probably need to provide the money for my airfare, and I can be gone. So my thing is, time is of the essence, because it really is, because you have an idea in your mind, but see, as things start to, progress, thought-wise in your mind, and you're focusing on these things, then other things might come to your mind that you did not, think that was going to come to your mind. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a good thing, because as because you're motivated, and when you're motivated, it kind of like brings open ideas, and you're starting to get creative, and things start to really kind of mentally start happening, get you happy, get you feeling motivated, energetic, and you start putting things in motion, and that's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, what I did yesterday, and I didn't tell you guys this, I was going to, but it was not going to be in this way. So I was going to buy myself a complete skateboard, an old school style one, just because I wanted. When I saw it, I'm like, whoa, I really was trying to get this. It was a pretty penny. Nah, not too expensive, but it was still, it was expensive enough. That was prior to me seeing these videos and being inspired by them videos. But I was so heavily inspired by those videos. I said to myself, I'm like, you know what? I said, I don't think that's going to be a good idea for me to get that skateboard. Why? Because I don't really know if I'm going to be riding it like that much anyways. The main thing. Number 2, I don't want to be taking so much with me. A lot of people, they keep saying they take less. They sold everything. They're only taking so much. So I think I need to do the same thing. Not take so much. I already have a skateboard. It is complete. Barely even broke it in. I think maybe at the most I'll get a new skateboard deck, but that's all. I don't need anything else. You know what I'm saying? It's been 3 years since I've ridden it, so it's like, come on now. So I don't need to do that. I'm not going to spend almost $230, like $221, or like $226 was I think how much it cost for this complete, which is very expensive to me. So I can save that money, and I will not buy that skateboard. Now, what I probably will do is I will invest in my YouTube channel more, get some equipment that's not going to be that expensive. Now, for some silly reason, the gimbal or the handheld camera that I was going to get has like, I don't know how to explain it. It was for this bundle, for this starter package or whatever, content creator package, it was like $699. It went from $699 to now it's like over $1,000. I'm just like, what? Like just to buy the camera is $800, and it was like $400 or $500, like just a few months ago. I'm like, how did this happen? So I was looking at possibly going to get one of those, but I said no. So now I'm going to check out maybe the gimbal, or they have another camera that it was kind of neck and neck with the one I was talking about, and I want to kind of see how much that is, or if that raised in price, and kind of watch videos on just kind of trying to see if it's going to be good or not, because I really want to start making my videos better, getting them a lot better, and focusing on perfecting my YouTube channel and my craft on that as well. So that way, not only would I be able to be doing real work, or working for somebody else, so to speak, by doing tutoring, I could also be doing my YouTube channel. So those are things that I'm looking to to focus on. And so I'm just glad that I rethought or reconsidered on buying that skateboard, because I would have had two skateboards at that point, and it just didn't seem realistic or a wise idea to do that, and things like that. So because if things happen quicker for me than I expect, then I'm like, well, shoot, I'm gonna have all this stuff, and I'm not gonna be able to get rid of it soon enough. So I don't need to be adding more big stuff to my belongings or whatever like that. So that's basically what I was doing, y'all. I was really just focusing on staying motivated and finding out, learning more about traveling. There's my visa that I'm going to need to get. I don't know if there's a few different visas you can get, and so I'm going to be finding out from one of the YouTubers what he suggests, which is going to be the best visa for me to get. Still got to get my passport, and make sure I have all my documents. So that's another major thing that they always say: make sure you have all your documents. You do not want to be in a position where you are, that you need, that you need to have documents and you don't have them, or they're hard to get, hard to find, or whatever. So while I'm waiting, this is the time for me to be gathering up all of the information, all the important things that I need to know and have for my traveling and stuff like that. Because like buying a ticket is not a big thing. That's not big, but there's other things that I'm going to need. I gotta find out more information on the ID, talking about this Real ID. I don't know if that's something I'm gonna need, but making sure that I find out everything, just whatever I need prior to, that's what I'm gonna be doing. So I wanted to kind of bring that to y'all's attention, because I'm getting things in motion. I'm putting things in motion right now. I'm utilizing the time that I have to educate myself, to ask the questions, to research, and to start getting things prepared. So anyways, y'all, I hope that y'all enjoyed my video. Hope you guys found some some usefulness out of it. If you guys have enjoyed the video, why don't you guys give it a thumbs up. Also click that notification bell so that way you guys are informed when I am uploading my videos. If you're new to my channel, you guys haven't subscribed, why don't you guys subscribe to my channel? Yeah, I really appreciate you guys, and just communication, all the little things that I just explained, those help my channel grow. So like I said, I'm saying, like, if you guys watch this video, and you guys enjoyed it, just let me know you enjoyed it by making, sending a comment or giving it a thumbs up, because that helps, the YouTube algorithm see and show that my viewers are enjoying my content, and they have the proof. Anyways, y'all, I'm Real King, and I pray that you guys have a really good day and take it easy.